Welcome to Alberta Conservation Association's Harvest Your Own podcast, the resource for everything hunting, navigating through the field, the butcher shop, and the kitchen. Life is all about great food. Let's get started.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad Fenson, an avid outdoor enthusiast who has worked as a freelance journalist, photographer, and public speaker for over 3 decades. I have hunted, fished, and foraged all my life and hope to share my passion for the outdoors. Along the way, I want to encourage everyone to harvest wild proteins and enjoy the satisfaction of providing the next meal for your family. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire individuals to get outdoors and create a connection between food, health, and your future meals. Welcome to Harvest Your Own. Tonight I have a special guest. It is somebody that reached out for information on hunting, and we actually got to share a blind together on, I believe it was your first waterfowl hunt, maybe not, but Mike Gorski.
It was my first and only so far.
Yeah, welcome to Harvest Your Own, and we're going to talk a little bit about trying to get into hunting and the importance of finding a mentor or not, and how to wet your feet and get out in the field.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Mike. Who are you? Where are you from? What are your interests?
Well, I'm from Ontario originally. I grew up on a farm, a vineyard actually. My dad's vineyard, Colchester Ridge Estate Winery, is
nice.
Probably going to be selling their wine in Alberta soon now that these trade barriers are coming down. So that's nice. And I moved out here. I couldn't find work when I was in my early 20s, so I moved to Calgary. I have been with the same company since I moved out 15 years ago. I'm in the rail industry, and I've got a desk job, so it's a lot of sitting around, and I really like the time I get out in the field.
Yeah, it becomes pretty special, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
I look forward to it every year.
Yeah. Now, did any of your family members hunt?
I did a lot of fishing with my dad, and my dad did do some hunting, but I didn't do any hunting when I was a kid.
So you were never exposed to it, really?
No, not really.
Yeah. Any neighbors that hunted where you had to eat venison burgers or something, or sausage?
Nothing like that back home. No, it's there's a lot of pavement out there.
So, what created the interest? How does somebody that comes from a background with no hunting experience, or family members or neighbors or friends, all of a sudden one day you're sitting at your desk in the rail yard thinking, I should be a hunter?
Well, it's mostly the guys I work with were going out hunting every year. They would talk about the trips that they go on. They always had such a good time. I got to try some jerky and whatnot when they would bring it into the office.
Jerky is the magic, isn't it?
Oh my God, that was the lure to get me out in the field. And I was in Scouts as a kid too, so I know I loved the outdoors and hiking. I've always been an avid hiker. So in 2022, I went out for the first time with a coworker of mine, and he was showing me the ropes.
And that was for big game?
Yeah, big game.
Yeah. And what did you hunt?
We were going for whitetail.
And did you see any?
We saw quite a few. I only bought the one tag, and we saw quite a few does. So I was ready to take a shot at a doe, and he said, you might want to save that tag for something with antlers. Lo and behold, didn't see anything else for the rest of the season.
Yes, yeah. It's funny, I often say when you have somebody starting hunting, make sure that you understand what their goals are, not yours. Like the individual, because it's easy to say, hey, don't shoot that doe, you should wait for a buck, but they taste the same.
Yeah, and it's as a new hunter, there's a lot that I didn't know going out into the field. I didn't really know where to even start, so I didn't know to advocate for. Hey, I just want something in the freezer,
right? Versus,
I want something with a rack. So, as time's gone on, I've been doing research more than my wife would care that I do. But there's a lot to learn.
There is, and I think that's one of the things I love and appreciate about hunting is that I can learn something different every time I go on the field. Even though I've been hundreds, if not thousands of times, days out there, every trip you have an opportunity to learn something if you open your mind.
Absolutely. There's so many good resources out there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you weren't actually the one that contacted me. Your wife did.
Yeah.
And she was interested in having you become a bird hunter.
Yeah, she was. she met you through your neighbor. Funny story. She reached out to an author. She always reaches out to authors when she likes a book, and he just happened to live nearby, and he happened to live next door to you and introduced us. And so mentioned we were interested in going on a waterfowl hunt, and you invited me out. It was a real treat.
Yeah, it took a long time to get established though, because the first year you called, I can't remember exactly what was happening. I think we were in some COVID years and it was hard to get out or get together. And then you wanted to get your own firearm. You didn't want to borrow one, and you wanted to make sure you had all the courses and everything in place. So you spent a bit of time doing all of that on your own. Yeah,
it took quite a bit of time. And also, my wife and I have had 4 kids in 6 years, so we're pretty busy. It's hard to find time.
It's a good busy, though.
It's a great busy, yeah. Yeah, so I got the hunter education course the first year, and my win number. Took a couple of years to get the PAL. And then once that was all set, we were finally ready to head out into the field.
Yeah, and it was good. I mean, I had some friends in. My buddy Mario was here, who's an avid waterfowler. You kind of had an A-team to go out with, a bunch of people with not only experience but work in the field. Like Mario, he's developed his own calls. He carves his own decoy blanks. He manages decoy production, and you know.
It's a really, really great group of guys that took me out. There were about 6 or 7 of us, I believe.
Yeah, and Claude Bochu was there as well. And, you know, Claude does a lot with first-time hunters with Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association, and he donates some trips. And, you know, he's also a great person to be a teacher.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was really, really great to have so many experienced people out in the field because I didn't know the first thing about what I was doing, and everybody was so willing to help.
Yeah, and you know, maybe part of the problem with going with people with so much experience is, can I ask this question? Did you learn anything?
I learned a ton. I learned that shooting trap and shooting birds is very different. If you're standing there and your shotgun is shouldered, it's a lot easier to hit a clay pigeon versus sitting in a blind and standing up quickly, shouldering the shotgun. And then I don't think I hit a single bird that day. Maybe one.
I thought we established that you did hit at least one.
At least one. That's very generous.
You know, it's funny because you shoot clays, they never change direction, but you stand up and all of a sudden a duck is going from left to right to straight up or backwards, or, you know, it's a very different target than what you throw with a clay thrower.
It is. It was thrilling though, and I'm looking forward to getting some more practice at it.
Yeah, and you know, I think the targets were big because we were hunting the big honkers that day. You know, I think most of the Canadas we shot were between 10 and 11 pounds. So
yeah, they were a lot bigger than I expected them to be.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're hard to bring down. Like, you have to hit them, I'd say in the front third is the best for those big birds. For any bird, you want to be on the front third of it in order to have a clean kill every time you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But we had fun. I can't remember the exact number of birds that we shot.
Well, the 6 of you thought it was not a very good day, but I was very excited. I think there were 14 or 16 geese and a few ducks that had flown in out of curiosity as well.
Yes, and didn't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that 16 birds isn't a great hunt. I think all of us appreciate all the opportunities, but when we spotted that field, it was, you know, significant. There were 800 big honkers there, and normally they come back and play, but I don't know where most of the birds went that morning. But that's part of the hunt is... you know, you have to play by their rules, not yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Other things I learned from the group was that, I don't have any of the gear I would have needed to do that on my own. With the blinds to the decoys to the calls, there was a lot of experience with that group. So while I did learn a lot, it was very informative, and I'd like to go out again. Yeah.
You know, that's the best part about waterfowling. I say this to people. Welcome to the addiction.
I think it's the best kind of hunt. You know, I'd been doing big game hunting for 3 years at that point, and I went out one day waterfowling, came home with meat.
Right.
It was...
and a significant amount.
Yeah.
Because those big honkers, by the time you breast them, like, we didn't pluck any of them, but we did breast them and take the legs and thighs off any of them that weren't shot up. And I think there was close to 2 tubs of meat.
Yeah. something like that. And, I'd been going out for big game for 3 years. I shot a whitetail in my second year, but that was it. So, you come back empty-handed after so many days out in the field, and it's hard to come home to the family like that. It is great to be out hiking and out in nature, but then when you come home empty-handed at the end of the season, it can be a bit of a disappointment. So going out waterfowling was a shock that it was easier than I had expected.
I didn't expect you to say easy, and that's always the fear of taking people out. It isn't easy. It's a challenge, but I'm glad that it was enjoyable and that we had enough birds cooperate that it seemed easier.
This podcast is produced for Harvest Your Own, a program dedicated to those who want to reconnect with food and health through their experiences outdoors. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a resource for individuals to learn more about hunting and the outdoors. There's information to get you started and ensure that your compass stays pointed in the right direction to be successful. Where's your next meal coming from?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of setup, a lot of tear down. You got to clean the meat, but if you're cleaning meat, that means you've got something. So
right.
That's always good.
Yeah, and that's we carried that process right through. You came back here, we cleaned all the birds, we washed them up, we bagged them, marked them all. But that's a pretty good lesson as well. If you're going to be a mentor or find a mentor and all the rest of it, being able to go through all of it is really important. Yeah,
every step of the process is important. And if you don't know what you're doing, finding a good mentor is a crucial part.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny, you talk about your big game experiences and then birds and how you would love to go back for more birds.
Yeah.
I find that I need to mix it up because a lot of time big game hunting is very strategic. It can be tedious, and you can go for days, weeks, even a month without firing a shot. But it's funny with the birds, that doesn't happen. And it's almost like being able to pull the trigger releases some of that frustration and creates a little bit more excitement.
Yeah, that's true. That's what the membership to the shooting range is for as well.
I can't remember. Did you shoot a whole box of shells that morning?
A box and a half.
Okay.
I actually still owe you. I forgot to bring them today.
Oh, no worries. No, I always say that whoever makes the most noise had the most fun.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, that's, I think, how you have to look at bird hunting. It's interesting how much eye-hand coordination is required to do it. You watch some people, it looks easy. Like some of the guys that we had there are pretty good shots. Claude's a good shot, and Mario, and if you were to just watch them and then compare yourself, you might feel like you weren't living up to what you could, but that's not the case because you haven't shot 50,000 rounds at birds over the years.
It's just a matter of practice. I will get there.
Yes. So hopefully when you see people harvest birds and you're working at it, it inspires you to do more. It inspired you obviously to practice and want to get back out there, which is really why we all love to take first-time hunters out.
Well, thank you very much for having me out.
Yes. So ducks and geese, but you have harvested a deer in the past as well.
Yep. In my second year, I harvested a whitetail. We were on our way out of a provincial grazing lease. It was the last day I was able to hunt for the season, 30 minutes before last light. We had quite a drive ahead of us, so I was just lamenting how we didn't see a deer again this year. And one just happened to be standing about 50 yards off the road. So pulled the car over as gracefully as we could and stepped out and took a shot, and it was a success.
Nice.
Yeah.
We like the gifts as much as the ones that we have to work really hard for.
Yeah. Yeah. After all of the stalking and sitting that we did, just standing next to the road, it was a gift.
Now, the person that you were hunting with, did he have experience with deer?
Yes. Yeah. He's a coworker of mine, Kyle. He's also been a very good guide. He's showed me quite a bit about tracking, how to spot rubs, scrapes, beds, how to identify scat.
You have to walk with your eyes open.
Absolutely.
And look all around you.
Sometimes I'm spending so much time looking for sign, I trip on, logs in a logging block, something like that, because I'm not really looking where I'm walking. So yeah, you do have to keep your eyes open.
Yeah. Yeah. And every time you go, like I said, it's an opportunity to learn, and you always see new things, or you see it in a different way, or you see it in a different light. And every time you go, I think you just get that little bit of an edge where you become a better hunter every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, for instance, I was out the last 2 weeks in November. It was -20. There was about a foot of snow. I could make it about 2 hours with the gear I currently have before I had to go warm up. And when I was cold, walking back to the car a couple times, I scared a couple of does. So that just went to teach me that I have to be cautious and quiet and stalking my way back to the vehicle as well, because you never know when something's going to show up.
Yeah, you can hunt all day and get back towards your vehicle. You know, it's funny, I've had that happen even with pheasants. You go push cover for 3 hours, come back, and you flush one like 20 yards from your vehicle, and it's like, how could that even happen?
Yeah. The deer actually was standing about 50 yards from my car.
Now, it's nice to have somebody there. You'd never shot a deer before. Was it a little daunting or overwhelming trying to deal with it in the field?
If I was on my own, it would have been. I'd watched a couple videos about field dressing an animal, but if I had to do that on my own the first time, it would have been very stressful, I think. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know if there are any predators who have heard the shot or caught the scent and are working your way. You know, you try to make as much noise as possible after you have a successful hunt, just so that your presence is known and nothing's going to try to approach too quickly. But no, I would have had a much harder time trying to clean an animal on my own. It was really great to have the help.
Yeah, I think hands-on experience is the best way to learn. You know, I've had other guests on here that didn't have anyone to mentor them, and they shot a deer and watched Harvest Your Own videos in terms of how to do it and rewind, you know, until they got through it.
Yeah.
But everyone says, man, if you have a chance to have somebody teach you or to find somebody that can help mentor you, it's priceless, really.
Absolutely. It's also, it would be a lot harder to do on your own. Having two people there makes the process very quick.
I'm giggling because when I grew up as a kid, the very first thing I harvested wasn't a deer. It was a 42-inch bull moose. And I'm chuckling because, like, even with help, it was a chore. You know, I felt like I was right inside the cavity while I was trying to get it, and everyone was having a little giggle. But, you know.
How old were you?
I don't know. I think he had to be 14 at the time, so I was probably 14.
You might have been right inside the cavity. They're huge.
They are. But, you know, looking back at those experiences, it was a lot of fun. You learn lots every time, and it's just good to hear that, you know, somebody like Kyle was there, willing to give you his time, his expertise, what he's learned from somebody else, and pass it on. Yeah,
and I'm going to be helping him with a moose hunt later this season as well. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, got to return the favor, of course.
Yes. Well, you know, it's nice to find people to share the experience with if you can. And we're all busy. We've got busy work schedules, family schedules. It's hard to fit it in, but it becomes important. Why is hunting important to you and your family? Your wife was very keen on getting you into this, so I know that there's got to be a family tie in here somewhere.
Yeah, well, she comes from a ranching family, so they all grew up riding horses, moving cattle around. Hunting was a big part of their life as well. So there's no issue with me doing any hunting. She was encouraging of it when I expressed an interest, and I started expressing an interest. Then she met you and said, you got to call this guy. So. And
then she didn't wait for you. She got a hold of me and said, hey, you know,
yeah,
I was talking to your neighbor Ron.
Well, I'm really appreciative that she pushes me so hard. So
yeah,
because I was hesitant to contact somebody whose neighbor I got through my wife's friend's friend.
You never know where it's going to lead, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm glad we did.
You know, and it's important because I think a lot of people I've mentored over the years are shy. I'd say they're very shy, or they're not very outgoing. They're very timid, or they're looking at me as though, wow, you know, he hunts so much. How could I do it with him? You know, or keep up? But ask.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
It's hard to come up with that, dig deep, but don't be afraid. You got to make sure you ask.
Of course. Yeah. I was interested. And now that I've been out with a few people who have experience, I'm always talking about hunting. Again, more than I probably should. But when I'm talking to my friends, I discuss my exercise routine, which I'm developing for. I'm actually also going on a guided hunt this November, a 5-day hunt horseback up to a base camp, and then we're going to hike out from there we're going for a mule deer buck.
An outfitted mule deer hunt sounds very interesting, even to someone like me with experience. Where are you going? Who are you going with?
We're going south of Calgary. My wife's cousin just started an outfitting business called Mountain Muleys, and it's just west of Diamond Valley, Drayton Valley, and
Black Diamond
and Turner Valley merged into Diamond Valley.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, so it's just to the west of there in 406.
Excellent. Well, that'll be a fun hunt for sure.
It's going to be a blast.
This podcast was made possible by Alberta Conservation Association and the Harvest Your Own community. If you're interested in harvesting your own food, there's a comprehensive collection of information to gain insight and knowledge. Head to the field, harvest your own protein, prepare it, and taste the results. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a library of information from getting started and geared up to processing, butchering, and cooking wild game to make the connection between health and food.
Nice.
So my exercise routine includes hiking around with a weighted backpack and doing lots of incline work. So I can go hiking for 5 days without my body failing. So I'm always talking about the exercise routine and why I'm doing it. I try to make it as comfortable of a conversation as possible. So if anybody is interested in hunting, they can ask me. I'm still a rookie. I've harvested one deer. I've gone waterfowl hunting once, but I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm going to be doing this for as long as I can walk.
Yeah, you talk about the health benefits and getting into a routine and fitting it into family, but I'm going to bring you back to your wife again because to me, I felt there was a significance or importance to her for the food value.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she did a master's degree in business, and part of that was a study on the food system and the micronutrient values in food and how to develop a more sustainable agribusiness model. She's very interested in the quality of the food that our family consumes and that everybody consumes, really. It's a top concern for us. So the meat that we buy, we try to buy from local farms as much as possible. Hopefully, I'll have a full enough freezer that we never have to buy meat again, but we're not quite at that point. So yeah, Tessa's really interested in wild game. She was going vegan for a while, but she said, I'll eat hunted meat. So I said, yeah, I'll make sure we've got some of that.
Yeah, and we've had a few other guests that have talked about that too, where they had gone a vegan route and discovered the benefits of wild game and wild proteins and taken it from there. But, I think that's a good message. Like, there's several things in there that people have to consider. If you ever had an inkling to be a hunter and you're not, and you got no contacts and friends and you got to reach out, sometimes the reasons why you hunt can be shared with family so they encourage you. And having a wife at home that's, busy with 4 kids and still is out there, get out there and get us some birds. That's pretty profound. It's
I'm truly blessed. She gives me so many opportunities to go out hunting when I know how hard it is to look after 4 kids. They're all under 6, by the way. So it's an incredibly busy household. So yeah, every day that I get out in the field, I try my best to make it a success. So I've been doing a lot of research over the last year as well. Remy Warren has a great podcast about elk hunting and mule deer hunting. Mountain Tough has an exercise routine for backwoods expeditions. That's where I learned about the ruck pack with the weighted backpack and the hiking there. Harvest Your Own obviously has a lot of great help. Good recipes on that website too. You've got to check out the recipes on this website. They're phenomenal.
Well, we're glad to hear that. Now you had the deer at home. What was your favorite recipe that you made out of it?
Oh, geez. Well, the kids loved the sausages. I actually brought up 2 packs of sausages the first day, and my son looked at me and said, wow, I didn't realize you got 2 deers. I said, wow, okay, this is the same one, but okay. But the favorite meal was probably an Applewood smoked round roast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we didn't actually get a chance to make any sides for it. It was so good. We stood around the cutting board and carved it up and just ate it right off the cutting board.
And did you cook it medium rare, or did you do it in a slow cooker?
I did it in a smoker.
Oh, nice. That's even better.
The Weber Smoky Mountain charcoal smoker. And it was about a 2.5 hour smoke. It was about 225. And I can't remember what the internal temperature was of the meat, but it was about medium rare when it was
low and slow.
It was delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. We did a podcast on smoking as well, and we talked about the importance of low and slow, that nice slow process where you infuse the smoky flavors into the meat, but don't dry it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that even sounds good to me.
Well, I'm excited to learn some more recipes. I've heard elk is some of the best meat on the planet, but I've yet to try it. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, elk is one of our all-time favorites.
Yeah.
It's our staple in our house. I
want to make sure I'm in good enough shape to pack out an elk before I go on an elk hunt. So I'm thinking in the next couple of years I'll be ready to go for one.
Yeah, and I like to tell people when you think you're biting off more than you can chew, a wild game analogy, you don't have to take the whole thing out in one shot.
Yeah.
Like many times I've shot elk and boned them out in the field and had game bags with me and pulled it out in a sleigh or taken it out in backpack trips. Steph, my wife, the first elk she shot, there was, waist deep snow. We were on snowshoes and shot an elk way back in the middle of nowhere, and we broke it down and pulled it out on a sleigh, which was pretty rewarding.
Yeah. That sounds like it would be. Boning it out in the field, putting it in game bags, hanging it from a tree and making multiple hikes to pack it out is always an option. If you can do that, get it hung, and then call your friends for help for the second hike, that would be great too. So, but that's why I'm trying to get myself in better shape, because if I do have to do that on my own and do that hike 3 or 4 times, I want to make sure that I'm in good enough physical condition to do it.
Yeah, and it's probably more important to learn how to bone out a critter and be fairly quick and efficient doing that, because you probably find that you could probably do it in 2 or 3 packs.
Yeah.
Once you remove the hide and the head and all the bones and stuff, and just have the meat, it reduces the load substantially.
Yeah. Well, a whitetail or a mule deer, you could probably do in 1. Yes. No problem. So an elk, I mean, if you say we can do it in 2, I'd be happy to go on an elk hunt with you.
Yeah, we've done a few, and I've done that with moose as well. They can be a little bit more work. I did have a moose I shot in the Yukon one time, and their moose are about 25% bigger than ours, but it took 16 trips to get it back to the boat.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it was significant, but it was rewarding when it was done.
I bet.
Yes. So is there anything that you did with the geese that you shot or that you want to do?
So far we've done one recipe, pulled goose. It was delicious. And we want to turn the rest of what we've got into sausage, but I don't have a sausage stuffer, and I keep forgetting to go buy some pork fat to mix with it. So that's the plan for those. And I have not decided what to do with the duck breast yet. We've got a couple of duck breasts, and I want to make sure we do something really nice with it. Yeah,
the ducks are my girls' favorite by far. They really enjoy them, appreciate them, and although goose legs are a very close second, it's hard for them to distinguish a favorite between those two. But we were fortunate; we actually got to share a meal of some birds, and it was nice to see that your kids ate them and enjoyed them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we had some goose legs. They were delicious.
Yeah, and it appears to me as though they're influenced in a way that hunting is good, and I think that they would embrace it when they get older.
I sure hope so. I listened to enough of the podcasts in the car that my son took his little cop outfit. He's got a little like revolver police gun and a stuffed elk, and he shot his stuffed elk and wrapped it in paper towel and put it in the freezer. And the babysitter went, "Where did he learn that?" He must have picked it up from the podcast, because I didn't teach him that yet.
That's pretty interesting. But, one of the big questions I wanted to ask you is, to you, how important was it to have a mentor on your first hunts?
Oh, it was extremely important. Coming from a non-hunting family, having the mentor there, or the group of mentors was really, really beneficial. I don't know that I would have done it without.
Interesting. Well, it's good. There's many rewards to the people that take you out too. We enjoy bringing more people into the fraternity to ensure that we have a future for waterfowl hunting or other things. But I'm sure Kyle had his rewards for taking you deer hunting as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're very good friends, and we're always chatting about what to do next season, even in the middle of this season.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that you can take what you learned and put it to good use. Maybe we can get out on another hunt this fall together. But, you know, the good thing about Alberta is if you're duck or goose hunting, there's so many conservation properties you can go to, not have to worry about access where there's ponds. You can sit on the edge of them and shoot birds flying back and forth. You can purchase 6 decoys and still have a successful day when you're out there. So lots of ways to do it. You don't need a huge setup like we did have on our goose hunt, but, you know, planting the seed, hoping that it's there and hoping that it can take you somewhere in the future where your family and friends can enjoy it and you can have influence with them as well.
Yeah, well, we're really looking forward to it. And I'd like to discuss maybe what a smaller scale waterfowl hunt looks like with you.
Yeah.
Whether now on the podcast or at a later date.
Yeah, and you know, that's the great thing about Harvest Your Own is there's a library of information online. And if you go on there and look for information about small wetland shoots and duck hunts on water, or even how to make a hide or a blind, all of that is there. But of course, I'd love to share that information firsthand.
Great.
Anyways, thank you for your interest in hunting and your interest in Harvest Your Own. And I hope that we can get out into the field again sometime soon.
Hopefully, yeah. Thank you very much for having me. It was great to talk to you, Brad.
We hope to inspire people to reconnect with nature and appreciate where your food comes from by harvesting your own. For more information on getting started or to learn specifics about the Field to Fork experience, visit harvestyourown.ca and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Check back often for new material, recipes, and videos that are posted regularly. Please subscribe to Harvest Your Own podcast and take the time to rate and review the show to help us build a dedicated core of passionate hunters as our regular audience. Until next time, embrace the outdoors and all it has to offer. Thanks for joining us.